Well, I hope you're doing well. I hope that you've had a good day today. I hope you had a good 4th of July. Maybe it was a good day with family. Maybe you got to rest some. Whatever may have happened yesterday, I hope it was a good day, and I hope today was good as well. Um, if you are sick or hurting and we don't know about it, please let us know. We want to know about it. We want to be lifting your name up before our Father. I don't think we have any announcements tonight. When is the last time, when was the last time you read the book of Micah? If you're like most people, the book of Micah is not a book that is commonly read among Christians. I don't think that's. Let me give you an example. When you go up to someone and you ask them what their favorite books of the Bible are, usually Micah is not on that list, right? Micah is a fairly short book. It's 7 chapters. I'm saying that. Let me make sure that that's actually true. Yeah, 7 chapters. And it kind of strikes me as ironic that people aren't as familiar with the book of Micah as one might possibly think a person might be. And let me tell you why. That it'll make sense in just a second. People today seem to be fixated on justice and seeing justice go forth in the world. Now, a lot of people have a lot of different definitions of what justice looks like to them, right? But nevertheless, people want to think about justice. They want to see justice, like we said, go forth in the world. Well, guess what the book of Micah is about? The book of Micah is about justice and justice going forth in the world. But Micah sort of says to us, let me put justice in context of the Bible. Let me give you a biblical definition, a working definition of the word justice. What does justice actually look like? And when Micah puts justice in that context, in a biblical context, it's in the context of covenantal love and humility before God. Micah chapter 6 through 8 sort of talks about that. With what shall I come before the Lord and bow myself before God on high? Shall I come before him with burnt offerings, with calves a year old? Will the Lord be pleased with thousands of rams, with 10,000s of rivers of oil? Shall I give my firstborn for my transgression, the fruit of my body for the sin of my soul? He has told you, O man, and this is probably one of the more famous verses in the book of Micah. If not the most famous, he has told you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. So here's what I want us to do tonight. I want us to take the time to read the book of Micah. Like I said, 7 chapters. It will probably take, a good 30 minutes if we're thinking about the book as we read along and we're just not simply reading words on a page and giving no thought at all to what is being said. But when you're going through the book of Micah, see if you can sort of construct an overview of the book. Let me give you a for instance. In chapter 1, Micah says that he writes the word of the Lord. Well, to whom is he writing the word of the Lord? Well, to the northern and southern kingdoms, right? He particularly has Samaria and Jerusalem in mind. And it seems from reading chapter 1 that God has the goal of transforming the world because of the sins of Samaria in Jerusalem. In chapter 1 and verse 6, we learn something about Samaria. Samaria is going to be destroyed. Samaria is going to be laid waste. But the sins of Samaria have now infected the people of Jerusalem, and as a result, the anger of God has been kindled. We see that in Micah chapter 1, verses 8 through 16. But then we get to the beginning of chapter 2, and we see that people are committing atrocious sins against their neighbors. And as a result, God is not happy, obviously. He's not pleased with this. And God has destruction in mind. But although God is planning a disaster, we see in verses 12 and 13 in chapter 2 that God is planning to preserve a remnant of the people. In chapter 3, we see the sins of the leaders are highlighted, particularly those of the prophets. The prophets at this point in time are rotten, they're fake, they're hypocritical, they're certainly wicked. And as a result, we see that the prophets are going to lose their abilities in chapter 3. We see this in chapter 3, verses 5 through 8. And we can keep going on and on. That's what I want us to do tonight. I think this is going to be good. I know the video is shorter. But think about what the Lord wants from His people. It's not sacrifice. It's not some type of work. The Lord wants justice. The Lord wants kindness. And the Lord wants humility. That's what God desires from His people. The world would do well to come to the Bible for a definition of justice. If we want the world to change for the better, we need to love God. We need to seek what is just. We need to love kindness. And we need to be humble. Well, I hope you have a great rest of the week. I can't wait to see everybody Sunday. God bless.